Okay, well, here we are. It's about 9:01. We're going to start the session for um, the ALP Proof Positive webinar on all of their benefits. I've already listed some of my information on the screen just in case you're just joining us now. And then that way, if you need to contact me or my brother later on, you can go ahead and do so. By now, everybody should have received an enrollment link in order to be able to go in and take a look at their benefits and decide, what they want to do for their dental and all of their ancillary benefits for this year. This is a really good opportunity to go ahead and go over some of these benefits because some of you may not even have had this offered to you in the past and may not even have coverage like this. So going forward, it's going to be, maybe critical just to kind of hear some of the highlights, and then if you do have any issues with the coverage, please don't hesitate to give us a call at the office and let us know maybe what you're stuck on, and then we can help you. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to go over both the benefits and the website enrollment at the same time. I think that that's really helpful for anybody who hasn't done any kind of electronic enrollment before. Everything that you do here will help us just enroll you in the correct plans and make sure that we don't miss any vital piece of information. So with that, most of you would have seen blue there for a second, and then I placed this on the screen. This is what the actual portal looks like right after you put in your username and password. It asks you to agree to everything, and this is why I wanted everybody to see it. So you go down here to the bottom, and you're going to accept that. And when you get into the website, it should say Start Open Enrollment. If it doesn't say Start Open Enrollment, there's probably going to be an issue with your particular situation, and you need to email me right away so that I know what's going on. Okay, so once again, here we are. We're at Start Open Enrollment. Should say that you're eligible. My name is Test, Test Best. That's what we'll call myself. That's not a real name. That was a name that was done to protect the innocent. So we start open enrollment, and you can see from minute one you get in here, some of your information will be in there, but for the most part, since we only had a limited amount of information when we signed everybody up, it may just be your first and last name, all right? So you have to go through here, and unfortunately, and fortunately for us as the insurance professionals over here, you do have to fill out pretty much everything in order for it to take you to the next page. So we put in some fake information in here, social, all of that should be there. If not, here's what's going to happen. So I'm going to say I want to go on, and it's going to say, hey, wait a minute, you didn't put in your phone number, so I'll go ahead and put in one. You better not put in a phone number that means anything, because obviously somebody might try and call that number. Okay, so I did that. It should let me go over to the next page. Okay, it's still telling me it wants job title. So I'll be an administrative assistant. That sounds good. Okay, so the next thing is if you have any dependents, this is where you want to add them. And the reason why you want to add these dependents here is not just for the purpose of whether they're going to enroll in the insurance, but you want to add the dependents in this section because if you don't add them here, then let's say that you want to enroll in the dental just for yourself, but for the vision you want your whole entire family. Well, if you don't put them in here, there is no way to go ahead and do that. And also this helps with the way that the forms get generated so that we get the correct forms when you're done with the enrollment. So I really like the way that this system works, just in the general sense that we pretty much get a completed form. Everybody hates to turn in forms, they lose them, they don't fill in the right information, something's missing, a box not checked. This is awesome. You get everything all in one spot here. So I love it. So here, I'm going to go ahead and click to the next section. And I didn't put any dependents in there, but I didn't need to go ahead and do that. So where I'm at right here, okay, is it asks me if I have any Medicare coverage, but I don't, so I'm going to go on. All right. So here's where all the benefits are really going to begin for everybody. So the prices and all of that stuff is determined for a lot of these products based on your age. So it's very important that you put in the correct birth date, because if you want to be 21 forever, well, that's great and everything, but it won't be the correct pricing for the plan, and then you'll probably be unhappy when you see your paycheck. So the first benefit that we have here, it shows me, is we have the hospital benefit, okay? This hospital confinement is a very simple benefit to explain. You can see that there's two options and two different prices. One of the things that came up in one of the other meetings is how is it displayed over here on the side, with your cost. Now, one of the reasons for having these enrollment portals is so that you can see what's going to come out of your paycheck for these benefits. So I know here, this is set up, it says per pay period, but here in the quotation marks, it actually says monthly. So oddly enough, I actually think that it's easier for people to see what the costs are monthly, but in very different circumstances, we have set this up, to meet all kinds of different requirements for employees. But just remember, this is going to be your monthly price when you look at it, not your per paycheck deduction. So I've chose to enroll. I could have chosen either plan. One plan is going to cost me $18.71. The other one would cost me $32.42. So here we go. If I click here on hospital, right, it's going to show me the two options. One option, right, is the low plan, and the other option is the high plan. So the low plan, right, the interesting part about this is one of the most simplest benefits to explain that we actually offer here. The hospital indemnity is $1,000 per admission. You get one of those admissions per insured person for the year. So if it's just you, you'll get one. And you end up in the hospital, they pay you $1,000. Simplest benefit to explain ever, right? You're in the hospital, they pay you $1,000. Has nothing to do with the way that your medical insurance is enrolled for you. They are going, once you file a claim, they are going to send you $1,000. If you're confined to the hospital, they will actually pay you $100 per day up to 30 days per year. So if this is something that happens in November, right, you get the $1,000, right? When it rolls over to January, it's going to start all over again. So option two, though, this is just a higher benefit, and thus that's why the cost is a little bit more when you look down here, is because it's a $2,000 per admission. So it could be where literally you go into the hospital for one day, they find nothing, doesn't really matter, you're still going to get paid the $2,000 because that's the option that you chose. So this is a very simple benefit to explain. If you have any other questions about it, please feel free, to contact me afterwards. They do look for pre-existing conditions, but if you had no pre-existing conditions, you enroll in this plan, it's going to cover you right away. All right. So if we now flip back to the screen, everybody should see on the screen right now, I'm just really back in the section here where I was talking about hospital confinement, which is the first benefit when you pull it up in the website. So the next thing that we're going to come to, I chose to enroll in option number 2, and you'll see that what it's going to cost me, per month. All right, so now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to hit next. Okay, now it's going to show me the accident plan. All right, the accident plan is now entirely different than hospital confinement. The accident plan is actually really looking to see if something happens to you because of an accident. So the only way to explain this plan, because there are 3 options, is to actually look at the benefit summary, which is actually contained here in the website. So once again, I have something that I've chosen here. I've chosen the accident 3, but let's just go ahead and click on one because maybe you're trying to figure out whether you want it. Now, if you don't want accident, just for the sake of argument, you could say waived, and obviously my price changes on the side, right? And I'm not enrolling in that. That's why it's so critical to do what you do on the website, because it lets us know exactly what you're going to do. It gives us a waiver form, and we kind of know what's going to happen. So I'm going to go back like as if I'm going to enroll. I'm going to click on this button here, and it's going to show me the benefits for the accident. So you can see that there's three different options: a value plan, an advantage plan, and a premier plan. And everybody's going to ask the question is, why would I want to go to one over the other? Well, think of it like this. The benefits are just a little bit higher as you go up the spectrum, as does the premium go up along with the benefits going up. Now, all of these accidents are not things that are covered, at the office, because that would most likely be workers' comp. You can see here it says off the job. So the best way you can think about this is, let's say you are in your backyard and you're cutting down a tree falls on your leg, accident. You decided that you want to take up skateboarding again. You haven't done it since you were 18 years old. You're riding down the street. You hit a parked car. Well, maybe you have a little more practicing to do on your skateboarding. But in either case, right, these are going to be covered as accidents under the plan, and depending on what happened in that accident, this is the way to look at it. It does come with a life insurance policy, whether you choose option 1, 2, or 3. The benefit amount here, right, for option 1 for death due to an accident is $10,000. It's $25,000 on option 2 and $50,000 on option 3. Now, this is a benefit that you can sign up for yourself. You can sign up the rest of your family. So it's not just for you. So if you have kids that are in sports, there is a benefit for them, and it's actually something that could be really helpful. So everything that's going to happen is going to have a benefit to it. So let's go down here to the most common ones, because there are quite a few to go over, and they may not apply to everybody at any given time. First things first. If you go to the doctor and you do your annual physical, mammogram, or any of those types of things, they're just going to give you $50 a year just for being on this plan. You file that claim with Guardian. They send it out to you between 7 to 10 days. Now, that has nothing to do with an accident. That's just one of those things that they give you for being enrolled in the plan. So the next part of the equation here is, let's look at all of the scheduled benefits. Let's say you end up in the emergency room. The funny thing is for a lot of these things that happen today, we may not end up in the hospital. We may go to the emergency room and then they send us home. They are going to give you $150 on the value plan, $175 on option 2, or $200 on option 3. So you're getting paid if you're in the emergency room. Now, it doesn't matter how the insurance pays for it. This is money that gets directly sent to you once again. So let's say if you end up in the emergency room because they've taken you in the air ambulance, because maybe you were skiing and they had to airlift you out and take you to the nearest hospital. They're going to pay you $500 on the first plan, $1,000 on the second plan, $1,500 on the third plan. The regular ambulance, $100 on the first one, $150 on the second, $200 on the third plan. So now you kind of get a feeling for the way that this is going to work. It's really just a schedule, and they're going to pay you depending on what happens. Now, what's interesting is, let's say you end up in the emergency room and they tell you you need to be in a wheelchair for a little while, or you need to have crutches for whatever goes. They're also going to give you money just for doing that. So there are multiple ways to get paid on this policy. So let's look at something more serious. Let's say you were in the hospital. So once again, the first policy we talked about was hospital confinement, but this is accident, okay? On the accident plan, right, they're going to pay you $750 if you get admitted to the hospital on option 1, $1,000 on option 2, and $1,250 on option 3. If you're in the ICU, it's a different benefit. It's $1,500, $2,000 on option 2, and so forth. You can see here, if you're confined to the ICU, they will actually pay you $350 per day up to 15 days, even on the lowest plan. So there is a lot of stuff that's going on here, all right? One of those things that I mentioned a few minutes ago about children being able to be enrolled in the plan, if you have a child and they are enrolled in an organized sport, right, they will actually get a 20% increase to their benefits. So all those things that I talked about, right, so the sport that they might be in might be soccer or baseball or, could be swimming. If they get injured, right, there's a 20% increase to that child's benefits. And if they have to have some sort of joint replacement or surgery, you're going to have money for it down here. Depends what it is, hip, knee, shoulder, all these different things, right? Because some of those things can happen, all right? And that's just the way that this plan works. It's just there to pay you depending on what's going on. They will even pay you for x-rays that are done due to an accident. So just keep in mind, you're getting paid for different things, and don't forget to file your claim if you enroll in this plan. All right, so I'm going to jump back over here, back to the portal. So once again on the screen, you should be seeing what I see here. which is the actual enrollment portal, right? And so I've chosen, option 3, and now I'm going to skip to the next benefit. So here I am, and now I'm at the long-term disability benefit. All right, now this is a little bit different. The long-term disability benefit, I have to choose to enroll before it will calculate how much it's going to be for me, right? And there are different prices, right, that are all developed off of, right, your salary. So let me show you something here really quick, because this is the only way it's going to make sense for you. Long-term disability is one of those benefits, to be honest with you, that's often overlooked. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't get the opportunity to get disability coverage because we may have worked for smaller companies in the past. So it's key to take a look at this, because we all know that in the state of California, we get short-term disability. But short-term disability only lasts for 1 year. And after that year is up, you're on your own. So if you end up with something that you are going to be stuck with for the rest of your life, that's it. You've got nothing else to protect you. And because you didn't pass away immediately, right, your life insurance probably isn't going to kick in. So long-term disability is one of those benefits where if a doctor deems that you can never come back to work again, this policy here from Guardian, if you enroll in it, will literally cover you until Social Security retirement age. Now, that's going to be a small percentage of people that can never work again, but I'll be honest with you, we have plenty of clients that are in the skilled nursing industry, and all we see when we go to do the enrollment for the nurses and the CNAs over there, all we see is people that are in these facilities for years. And the cost to be there is so significant that I don't even know how some of the people pay for it or how their families make it with some of these facilities. But at the end of the day, this could be one of the things where you might just need money coming in just to pay your mortgage for the rest of your family. One of those things where there's car payments and college and all these different things. This benefit is going to be there to cover you, and it's going to pay 60%, right, of your salary up to a maximum of $6,000 per month. And that's why the amount is so different. You might only qualify for $2,000 per month, and your cost will change for that plan. So it all is very important. We have tried to put in everybody's salary because only we can do that, but we can always double check that for you if you think that something's not correct. The benefits for this policy do start on day 91, so it's still within the first year, but however, it integrates with state disability, so you have to be in the know that in your first year, those benefits are going to combine together. And since state disability only really pays you 55% of what you make to a max of about almost $1,100, somewhere in that range per week, this is going to couple in with that to give you a little bit more, but it's really not going to be in full effect until you get into that year 1, right? And that's where this is going to take over, because at that point, state disability is tapped out. Okay? It lets you know here, the earnings definition is your covered salary. At this time, it excludes bonuses and commissions. There are certain scenarios where you do have to be sure to worry about pre-existing conditions, and that's explained here. And this is a little grid to help you kind of understand the way that the cost works for long-term disability and what you would qualify for, because there are little brackets in terms of how things are covered. So you can see here, if you were making $30,000 a year, your maximum benefit would be $1,500 under this plan. Okay, moving on to the next benefit. Right, I chose to enroll in this. This is what it's indicating the cost is for me. I'll have to double check and see if my salary is correct on that, but I think we have a high salary for me inside here, and that's why it looks so expensive. Okay, so on the next one, we're here at the vision plan. So this is a little bit easier to explain. To once again get into the idea of how you waive things, if I waive the vision, no big deal. At open enrollment next year, I can always go ahead and get the vision again. So it's not horrible if I don't select the vision. But if I do that, and I'm not going to do it for me or one of my children, it's going to ask me why. And look, we're not trying to get into your business about what's going on here, but if you choose to be without insurance, no problem. You choose that they're on your spouse's plan or you have an individual plan, no big deal. That just fills in the form on the, that just fills in the space on the enrollment form, so we kind of know what's going on. That way, if your child or your loved one needs to come on the plan later, oh, we know that they were with another plan or they chose not to be with it. We just kind of can follow the bouncing ball on what's happening. So if I'm going to go to enroll, once again, it's going to add the cost over here on the side. And if I want to know what the plans are, right, we only have one vision plan, even though it's through Guardian, it's technically VSP. I don't want you to be confused. There's option 1 and option 2. You're really only enrolling in option 1. Option 2 is just a discount plan that they give you information on so that you can get a discount for services, but it is not a real vision plan. This is an actual vision plan for option 1 that you're going to enroll in. And what's nice about it is it's not just Guardian's weird network of providers. This is actually VSP. And VSP is the largest network of vision providers in the nation. So what it's comprised of is mostly independent optometrists. So you may find the guy that's across the street from where you live looks like a high-end facility, and you've never really wanted to go in there because you think it's too expensive. But if they take VSP in network, right, you're going to pay the same cost as going to the big box store. So to me, that's really good to go in there, go ahead, get your vision exam, and then you can go through some of the other motions, whether you need glasses or contact lenses, and try and figure out, how your benefits are going to play out for those, and decide whether you want to go and get your glasses at that particular provider, or maybe you want to go somewhere else. So let me go through some of the benefits, because they're very simple to explain, but a lot of people get confused on how it works. The copay to get the vision exam is $10. So it doesn't matter where you go for an in-network VSP provider, they don't care. I decided to go to a place across the street from my office because it was nice and I could get in there really quickly. And I walked in and out of there with a $10 copay. I got lucky this year, which I just did my exam a few days ago, and I didn't need glasses this time, so there was no heavy pressure to get me into the, contact lenses or frames or whatever it's going to be, and I didn't even have to worry about that talk. But for everybody else who might currently have glasses, right, you're going to pay a materials copay of $25. So that $25 is now going to pay for your lenses and frames. So what you see here is there's a $0 cost for single vision, bifocals or trifocals, or even lenticular lenses. Now that's just for your basic lenses. Now you may want, the different transition lenses, or you may need progressive lenses, or scratch resistance, all these different things that go on, right? Those are always going to be an extra cost on any vision plan. I haven't seen any vision plan where you don't have to pay extra for those things. But just to get you going, they're covering the cost of the lenses right there. Now, when it comes to frames, they are going to give you $130. So you can spend that $130 on whatever frame you want. But obviously, if you want Gucci or Chanel or one of those types of frames, they're probably going to be more than $130. So this is just something to get you going. They are going to give you a discount on everything above $130. So just for being a VSP member, that's something that they automatically do. There is another way to look at this, though. Let's say that you like going to Costco. Now, sometimes the Costco optometrist can be in or out of network. So you always want to check with them and see if they're in network or not, right, to see how your benefits work. But you do have a Costco frame allowance. And now VSP recognizes that Costco is a better deal than most other places. But if you're comfortable and you love going to Costco, they will give you $70 to go to Costco and spend on frames. Now, obviously that's less, but Costco does such a great job that they may be able to get you in and out for a lot less than other places. I've even heard rumblings that Walmart, some of the really nice Walmarts out there, there's some Walmarts out here by us that are beautiful inside. They look like mini Costco's. You go inside, they have an optical department that they can get you out for very cheap and utilize all the benefits of these plans. Now, Walmart isn't in network, but they do an awesome job of getting you in and out of there for a really low cost. Now, since this is a PPO vision plan, you definitely do have out-of-network benefits. They're just not as good as when you go in network. Now, let's say that you want one pair of glasses and you want a second set of frames. No problem. VSP allows that by giving you a discount on the second set that you get of usually about 20%. You can see it right here, 20% off retail price. Okay, so let's look what we got here in terms of the different things that you can get. Now, the key to most vision plans is to figure out how the benefits work. You get exams every calendar year, you get lenses every calendar year, and you get frames every 2 years. If it turns out that the vision plan gets extremely popular, maybe we'll change the frame benefit, over time so that we can do this every year. But for right now, just remember that the frames skip a year. So maybe you'll want to get an extra set of frames just when you're in there, just in case. Because, if something happens to your main set, you're going to have to go in there and pay something for them. You'll probably still get a discount with VSP, but they won't give you that $130 just because you broke your frames, in a year or a year and a half. Okay, so I'll flip back going forward. So I've enrolled in that. It added it to my total. I hit next. Okay, here I am. Now I'm at the dental plan. All right, the dental plan is very interesting because we have 2 ways to go here. And there's quite a few different things that go on here. And it's not complicated to explain, but you do want to make sure that you're making the right choice on this. You can either go with the HMO dental or you can go with the PPO dental. Now, if you've never had dental through your company before, obviously this is going to be a little new to you. For me, obviously, I see these plans like every day, like literally every day. Like I could hit my head on this table right here because I see them so often. And once again, I hope I'm not boring you with all of this stuff because it's exciting to me to explain it, but I happen to be the guy at all the parties that puts everybody to sleep. So when we go over here and we're looking at the HMO, think of this like HMO medical. All right, HMO medical is one of those things where you have to pick a primary care physician. Well, same thing with dental. You have to pick a primary care dentist and you will have to stick to that dentist for most of your care. Now, you're not stuck with them forever. You certainly can go ahead and change that dentist by calling up Guardian and say, hey, I don't like this facility, change me to the new one for the next month. They will do that gladly and even help you find a new dentist to go to. Now, the one thing to remember, though, is that on the HMO, everything is driven by copays. So everything you do will be by copays. So the first question would be is, where are the copays? So you click here, all the copays come up, which are brilliant, and it lets you know what things are going to cost right off the bat. So for example, to go see the dentist, right, $5, right? This is the code over here on the left-hand side that they actually bill with. So if you're familiar with billing codes, because you may bill, what you do right now for your services, dental is the same way. They have ADA codes. These are the codes on the side that actually match up to what most dentists do. So if you went down here and you go to 1110, which is a cleaning, right, it says no charge. So just for being on the HMO dental, it's no charge for your 2 cleanings a year. So that's awesome. So it's very good in terms of getting you where you need to be. Now let's say that you need to get x-rays, bite wings, right? Bite wing x-rays, no charge. Once again, awesome, because to get the office visit, to get, like an oral evaluation, to see the dentist, to get a cleaning, to do all of that and get your secondary cleaning a year, I figure that would probably cost you $400 alone, just with any dentist, no matter where you're going. So then the other things that you get with this plan are all the routine things that you would get with normal dentistry. So you want to keep in mind that these are all the codes that are covered. So if you don't see it here, it's not going to be covered. But the good thing about this plan is it actually covers pretty much the majority of the things that you're going to get done anyways, because that's the way these plans are set up. So if you look here, you see a 1 surface filling, no charge. 2 surface filling, no charge. 3 surface, no charge. All the way up to 4 surface. So a 4 surface filling being no charge, right, is pretty cool because at the end of the day, right, those are probably about $100, right? That's how serious a 4 surface filling can be and how expensive they are. The one thing to keep in mind, though, is this may be, and typically they are, for silver fillings. You may decide that you want something that's porcelain, something that's white. Nobody likes silver anymore. They're going to charge you an upgraded cost probably to go with that filling. They may need to do something that's gold. All of those things may be a little bit different than what you see here. And what you want to do is hopefully you don't go in there when you're in pain. If you go in there early, you can go ahead and get a treatment plan from them. And the dentist is going to spell out everything they want to do, and they're going to be like, hey, I'll just use somebody's random name. Hey, Jessica, we need to go ahead and do this service on you, and your bill is going to be, $895. And you said, oh my God, I thought it was going to be no charge. And you have to start looking at the details and find out if maybe they've changed something, because in today's world of dentistry, unfortunately, they do look at other materials. They do look in certain ways because they may not like what the insurance company wants to offer, and they're going to offer you something different. But if you want exactly what the plan covers, you can specify that to them and allow them to do that work, especially when we're talking about crowns, because crowns come in so many different shapes and flavors. You can have gold crowns, porcelain crowns, gold and porcelain crowns. So you really have to keep an eye on what it is that they're doing. But you can see here that a porcelain crown, right here, this particular one, is $100. And you say $100, oh my God, I can't believe that. I probably paid $1,000 for my crown the last time I went. Well, like I said, you always have to keep an eye on what it is that they're doing. Sometimes they do charge you a little bit extra when they send it out to the lab, right? So it's probably $100 plus some lab fees to go ahead and get, the crown done. But this makes it very affordable for anybody to get something done. Once again, root canals are covered on the plan. You can see it depends on the type of root canal when we're down here. So just keep your eye on what it is that is going on. They do cover deep cleanings. This is right here, periodontal scaling and root planing. They do that per quadrant, and they have it set up here. It's $25 per quadrant. There's 4 quadrants in your mouth, so you can imagine that that's going to be $100. Another feature of the HMO, which is really cool, whether you're going to put your kids on or your spouse on, there is cover for orthodontia. It is a 24-month treatment. It is a rather large copay, but it's not an expensive copay. Typically, orthodontia is in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. So to get kids orthodontic work for $1,975 is pretty good, and adults for $2,175. So this plan definitely can solve your needs if you need to stay in a budget in order to get dental work done. You can see here that it's $17.36 per pay period, which I have set up as monthly. So that's what the cost is. If you need to find a dentist, no problem. You can go ahead and click on provider search here, go right in. This is also the same place where you would go if you wanted to find a VSP provider, but either way you go in here and you can find the HMO provider of your dreams. Okay, but let's say on the other hand, I want to go PPO. Now I've done 2 things to help you here. There is a comparison between the HMO and the PPO. You'll notice that the only reason that I put this in here is to show you that there's copays pretty much for all the HMO plan, which is option 1, and that there's going to be percentages on the PPO. PPO works entirely different than the HMO. Now the HMO has no deductible, and it also has unlimited benefits. So if you're one of those people that needs 15 crowns, I don't even know if that's even possible, but let's say that that's your worst nightmare. Don't worry, you can get those all done in 1 year under the HMO because it never taps out, it's never done. The PPO, on the other hand, is very different. It does have a one-time-a-year $50 deductible, and that's only payable for basic care or major care, so you don't do that if you're just getting your cleanings. And things are broken up into 3 categories. You have preventative, you have basic, and you have major. The other thing is the benefits do not last forever, right? It is only a $2,000 bucket of money that you get to spend every year. So you have to be very careful on what it is that you're going to do because you may end up paying out of pocket if you use up all of your benefits. The other thing that's interesting about the PPO dental is it has out-of-network benefits. Now, even though you see the same percentages here, I just want to give you a warning. I'll get into it in a minute. But what ends up happening is that if you go to an out-of-network dentist, right, you're going to pay more. Right? Now, the other thing is the orthodontia is not covered on the PPO as well. So let's flip down here to the next thing, because this is the way to really explain the dental. This is the way to grasp what's going on the PPO. It tells you literally what's in the preventative care, basic care, and major care, and the percentages that everything is covered at. So you can see that your preventative care, your cleaning's covered at 100%, okay? Let me jump back for 1 second, because I apologize, I didn't make this one comment. On the HMO, there are definitely probably a third less providers in the HMO in the state of California than there are on the PPO, right? The PPO probably has maybe 16, 17,000 providers in it. And the HMO is probably going to have about 6,000, okay? So on the PPO, there's definitely more to choose from, and more dentists are going to know the Guardian name. Okay, Guardian's pretty well known in the dental industry, so they're going to take Guardian just as they're going to take some of those other big brand names that you're more familiar with. Once again, you search for those dentists on the website, put in the PPO, which is called Dental Guard, and you can go ahead and find a provider or see if your provider's there. If you can't find them, you definitely can call me up, see if you're doing something wrong. You can also call your dental provider and ask them, hey, do you take Guardian insurance, and are you quote unquote in network? If they say that they accept Guardian, they might just take it like they'll take your credit card or your firstborn child or gold bullion, all right? Because that is the way it works with some of these dentists out there. They don't want to accept insurance, but they kind of don't want to tell anybody that they don't accept insurance, and you end up with this big bill in the end, and you thought that you loved John Smith, the dentist, but he really is just charging whatever he feels like it. All right. That being said, let's look at the 3 categories again. So preventative care, like I said, 100%. That's going to include your oral exams and your cleanings and your x-rays, right? So you won't pay anything. It does say x-rays other than bite wings. It looks like some other parts of the x-rays are going to be covered in basic care. So basic care, right, is going to cover your fillings. So you knew what the fillings were under the HMO. Fillings under this plan are going to be covered at 80% by the insurance company, meaning you only pay 20% of the bill, all right? You do have to remember there was a $50 deductible, right? And that $50 deductible, right, you just pay 1 time a year. Once you've paid it, that's it. You never pay it again. So after you've paid your deductible, if your filling turns out to be $100, you pay 20%. That's $20. I think everybody gets that. So here's an interesting thing. Root canals, oh my God, are covered in the basic care. Now this is awesome because you have $2,000 to spend every year, right? And root canals are one of the most expensive things. So the plan will pay 80% for that root canal and you only pay 20%. So if you're thinking and scratching your head like, wow, I was going to get this $1,000 bill for this root canal, you can enroll in this now. There's not going to be any waiting period. As soon as this becomes effective, you can go get that root canal. You'll pay 20% for it. Even if the root canal is $1,000, you will only pay $200, right? That's awesome. Do keep in the back of your mind that that $800, right, because it was a $1,000 root canal, that's being paid by the insurance company. So instead of having $2,000 now, you only have $1,200, all right? But that's still plenty of money to go get a crown done, right? Scaling and root planing is also covered here, which is also great because scaling and root planing can cost $600 or $700. We go down here to major care, right? And you see bridges and dentures, dental implants, and crowns, all covered at 50%. Your crown is $1,000, you pay 50%, that's $500, that's great. So this is going to cover all the things that you need under the PPO. They don't have codes that they use that they're going to give to you in a booklet because those are actually filed with the dental insurance company, and we never see those as consumers. So every dentist can actually be different because every dentist has negotiated their own pricing. That's just the way that the plan works. All right, so let's go out of network here for a minute. So out of network, just to give you an idea of the way that it's working, is even though it says 180.50 for the coverage here, when you go to that dentist and let's say you go get a crown, that crown down here, they may say, oh, well, you know, we're the best dentist in the world and I make all my crowns in-house and I'm going to charge you $1,500. But for Guardian, an in-network guy would never charge them that kind of money. So they can't afford to pay the same amount. So what they do is they look at what they would have paid an in-network dentist, and that's the money that they're going to give you towards this out-of-network dentist. So you're still getting a reimbursement, right? But what's going to happen is you're going to end up paying the rest of it out of your pocket. So just be careful, even if you love the guy, right? How much are you going to pay in that next year? All right. I'm going to show you one other thing that's related to the dental. Now, this is very cool, all right? Because you're enrolled in the dental, you will automatically get access. So you have to enroll in the dental in college tuition, a college tuition benefit. So what this is you're not paying any extra for it. It's something that only Guardian does at the moment. And it's a really cool thing. Every year that you're enrolled in the dental, and then you do have to enroll in this plan, you just go online here and enroll in it. So once you get set up and everything's active in the system, you will go ahead and sign up for this. It doesn't cost you anything. All right? You will get 2,000 reward points every year. So you say, oh my God, reward points, what does that mean? Does it mean anything? All right. Well, the way the college tuition benefit is set up is they're actually signed up with 340 private colleges that are part of what's called the SAGE group. This SAGE group, right, all these colleges in here are four-year universities. So you're accumulating points as long as you're in this plan. So 2 years go by, 3 years go by, 4 years go by, and all of a sudden you have 8,000 points, let's say. All right? Your child may not be ready to go to college just yet, right? But if you don't have children, no problem. If you do have children or you have nieces and nephews, and let's say that they're going into their 9th grade, right? At that point, you're getting really close to where you can pick this benefit to go to that person. You don't have to do that today. So you don't have to know who this person is in the future. All you have to do is sign up today. But before this person, whether it's your child, a nephew, a niece, or a grandchild, goes, I think it's right at the end of the 9th grade going into 10th grade, they go ahead and you have to identify that person. And guess what? If they're going to go to one of these 340 private colleges, your 8,000 points just turned into $8,000. So it directly translates, and that will be applied to their tuition. Now they'll divide it up over the 4 years because it is a 4-year university, right? And if you stay in the plan long enough, they don't care whether you're on the HMO or PPO, so don't get me wrong there. But if you stay in the plan long enough, they actually give you bonus points, I think, after the 4th year. Let's say you decide to leave the company. I'm done with this. I'm on to a new life. I'm retiring, whatever. Those points still go with you. They're yours. They have nothing to do with anybody else at that point. So it's something to just make sure that you register in and you'll take a look at some of the benefits of it because it is an awesome thing that nobody else is doing right now. Doesn't cost you anything extra. All right. So here we are. I enrolled in dental. If you wanted, you can see here, I can waive just my children if I want to, but I didn't enroll any children. So here I am. I'm on to the next thing. So here we are at life insurance. It's the last benefit we have to talk about. You could waive this or enroll in this. I got to tell you, unfortunately, right before this meeting, I had a conversation with an HR administrator, and she called me up and she said, I don't believe it. And she said to me that one of these guys that we had seen for the last 7 years, last year he had been diagnosed with cancer, but you know what? It looked like he beat it. We saw him at the enrollment meeting in December. Everything was awesome. I guess you can already tell what I'm going to say is coming. Literally yesterday, the guy passed away. And I thought, oh my God, because I saw him in front of me and he was great and you never know. So the life insurance is one of these things where maybe you have other life insurance plans or maybe you're working on it or maybe you've thought about it, but this is the time, right, to enroll in it because what's going to happen is your plan actually has a certain guaranteed issue amount that you can get without having to worry about going through a medical exam. For the particular guy that I was mentioning, I was actually surprised to find he had $100,000 of life insurance, and I just thought that was awesome because at the end of the day, people come back to me and they're like, oh, I never signed up for that. The family member never signed up for it, and they don't have anything to do anything with. And unfortunately, your plans when somebody isn't alive anymore are so super expensive now that just doing the most basic of things is going to probably cost you $15,000. I mean, it's so bad that if you actually go to the cemetery to visit somebody, these hustlers come out, and they're standing and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, but can I interest you in a plot right now? you're sitting here grieving for somebody and they're talking about these other things. But the thing that's scary is when I asked one of those guys a question, the guy said, well, if you come into me at the last minute, I'm only going to charge you more. So for something that you buy today versus later, that's something to keep in mind where that money would come from. So to explain the way it works, very simple. It's regular life insurance on a term basis. This is really good to have to just kind of get things going. If you come up with a life insurance plan that's better than what we have, I'm all for that. I mean, I sell life insurance all day long. So to me, if you come up with something awesome later, just let us know what's going on. And when it comes to open enrollment, we can waive that or we can do something different. For some people, they forget to enroll in something, or they have diabetes and they couldn't get life insurance. This is an easy way to get it. So if I choose to enroll in it, it's going to be incremental. You can see here it's just going to go up by price. So if I decide I want 50,000, it's going to calculate the amount based on my age, right? And it's going to add that to my cost of benefits. So let me go over here, see what's going on. I want to flip. I'm just looking at the benefits on a separate screen, so give me 1 second here. I want to see what your guaranteed issue amount is. Your guaranteed issue amount, which is awesome, is $150,000. Okay, so you can get up to $150,000 term life insurance without blinking an eye. All right, your spouse can't get as much. They can get a little benefit. I think it's at 20, let's see. Nope, the spouse is $10,000 that they can get guaranteed issue, so you can get that for them as well. And then your children, you can get up to $10,000 for your child. Now, the rule used to be for life insurance is that they used to be able to get 10% of what you get. So that's normally the way the policies are written. So just let me know. It may come up one way in the system, but let me know what it is that you're actually interested in if you are thinking about something different than what the website says. Okay, so without further ado, that's the way that that's set up there. I'm going to click back over here. I'm done with this. This is the last thing you really need to know. You add your beneficiary here so we know who it's going to. You have a beneficiary if you sign up for the accident plan, and you have a beneficiary if you sign up for the voluntary life plan. Okay, you don't need to do this here. So we come in here. There are a couple questions that they do ask you here. These will not affect the life insurance because obviously you have guaranteed issue up to $150,000. I'll just click no here. All right, they do ask your height and weight. Once again, that won't affect your life insurance. I'll just put in something. It doesn't want me to put in something, but here we go. And, oh, there we go. So now it tells me, right, that there's certain things that I didn't do. This is very important. This is how you're going to get through the rest of the day here. So it is telling me that I'm missing certain hours. So what it does is it will jump me back into these little places to get this fixed, and this will make sure that the thing is completely filled out. So here we go. I'm going to come back over here. I didn't do my, let's see. I didn't say yes to my college tuition benefit because we needed to review that. So we go over here. We checked it out. I'm going back, right? And let's see. Let's see if that'll take me to the end here. Oh, I need to go back because I need to add a beneficiary. So let's go ahead and do one. I'm just going to go. All right. All right, let's go here. Here. Did all that. Almost done, guys. So I just want to make sure that you get a feel for what's going on here. Oh, it asked me to do this again, but here's what's going to happen. So at the end of this, you're going to fill all these out. You're going to hit next, and then you're going to sign, and then you're going to be good to go. So, oh, I see where it is. It's right here in the PPO demo. I think I looked at the HMO, and that's why I did that. Okay, go back. Finish. Now it says accident plan, primary beneficiary, but I actually have one, so I don't even know why it's saying that again. Oh, but you know what? It may be asking me for how much, which is a normal thing that you do here. You have to put in how much you want the beneficiary to be. So go back to finish. Okay, my height, I thought I put it in there, but let's, I'll just be a weird dude. I'm going to be 5'2". Why not? Okay, that says I'm missing scheduled hours. So once again, right, you come in here and you make sure you fill out what you need to go ahead and get it done. So that's what I like about this. This means at the end of the day, everything's going to get filled out. So I sign, right? It now shows me here everything that I've elected and what the cost is going to be. So I love that. I know that I'm done, and that's it. I hit next, and it says, congratulations, we love you, and that's it. So I submitted my feedback, and I said finished. I can always go in here and kind of look what's going on and see what I've chosen for the year. So at this point, if anybody has any